Welcome, welcome. If you are new here, I'm so glad you came to join us, and I hope you find it to be just an awesome use of your time. If you've been here before, of course, I love seeing everybody's face. It's always the highlight of my week. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos on legal technology talk. Beth, with no intros, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about navigating this shiny new toy phenomenon in legal technology. And we all see these shiny new things, and we were talking about this a little bit that we were um all of the ads that are coming out now around legal technology, and we see all of those. And we're entering the holiday season, and a total inundation of ads. You can't surf social media without every other post being an ad anyway. But, all of the ads for the new kitchen gadgets, the garage gadgets, the toys, all of that stuff. Some of them are pretty cool and innovative. This trend of impulse buying poses a unique challenge in the legal tech field, where your purchasing decisions must be grounded in necessity rather than a mere excitement about it. Some of this stuff makes sense, and I, for one, am very glad to see small businesses getting in the game. Some were just shiny new toys. Do I really need an articulated raccoon in a trash can for my desk? Maybe. But anyway, and true story, I actually got an ad to buy bulk coffins from a major retailer that I didn't even know sold coffins. Kind of makes me wonder what triggered that algorithm. But anyway, so we get all of these ads coming in for everything, and also in our legal tech space. Now, there's nothing at all wrong with fun purchases, even in the office. But where it can get disruptive is when you start doing the impulse buying when it comes to your tech. So do you know how many emails I've received from attorneys at 2 a.m. that went something like this? I got this email from company ABC, and they have this new tech product that does something I probably already have in my tech ecosystem. That's a great email to get because it shows that they're looking for ways to innovate. But when it ends with, I signed up and here's your login, take a look and let me know what you think. Or worse, just when can we start using this? It's when my heart sinks because I know that there hasn't been research done behind that. And I no, it's not really always going to end very well. Um, Not because they took initiative and jumped, but because they jumped and didn't look. Sometimes it's really is something that they already have and are not using, or something that doesn't do what they want it to do. That's the shiny new and sometimes untested toys. So remember when software used to come in a CD and a box? Sometimes I just wish it still did to show how much tech you have and an easy way to identify the cupboard filled with tech that you may not be using. So we install it, play with it a little bit, and then throw the box in the cupboard and forget about it. It gets lost in the shuffle of everyday work and more toys. These are the mixer attachments of the tech worlds. So a couple years ago, a water jacket for the mixer bowl came out to make whipping cream easier. So if you don't know, cream whips easier at cold temperatures. So now there's a special bowl that sits under the lift that you fill it with ice, and the ice is around the bottom and up the sides of the bowl. Current price of that is like $130. So you know what works just as well? Any bowl that fits under the lift bowl and holds ice. There's even a little divot in the mixer base for it to set in. Like it's almost like it's unnecessary. The reality is also that unless you're mixing multiple batches of whipped cream, throwing the stainless steel bowl in the freezer for 20 minutes, 30 minutes works just as well. But it's a shiny new toy, and a lot of people have bought it and never used it. So knowing what you know about it, what do you think should be done before someone should go out and buy that? Well, doing the research, like how often do I whip cream? How much whipped cream do I make at a time? Is it one batch? Is it 10 batches? Will it make my whipped cream more appealing on my strawberry shortcake? Is there another way to do this without an additional purchase? Those are all questions that need to be asked. So when we take that Into the tech world, yeah, this is a very simplified solution, but the same can be applied to the shiny new toys that come out in technology. Those ads that popped up for a new web form, a new scheduling software, a new website design, a new CRM, they're all advertising shiny new toys. So, how do we not end up with a cupboard full of unused attachments? We research, and that research needs to ask a lot of questions. There are 4 questions that you should ask before purchasing any tech. How often do we do the process that this would improve? Is it something that we do once in 3 weeks and it takes 5 minutes? Is it really worth the investment? If it's a more frequent task, then maybe or probably it will benefit you to move forward, but that isn't the only question. Will it save time and improve efficiency? And how much will it gain us in that profit or time? Will it solve a problem that we're having now? And then also, what else will it affect if we do this? These are all questions to ask as you're going into this. Will it improve my client experience? Will it change the opinion of my client or potential client? Will it make them feel more comfortable and confident in our ability? And this can be things like, dialing in that follow up and making that an automated process, or at least a process that is driven by something that makes a lot of sense. Will it solve a problem we're having now or anticipate having in the future? Just because something is fun and new does not mean you need it. Saying. Then we have another set of questions, and these apply to actually moving forward with a solution. 1, is it compatible? Will it work with our current software? What else do we need to buy to make it work? Does it cause additional time and labor to make it work? Is it a one-time setup or is it ongoing? Where are we at with all of that? What all do we need to change to make this actually work? Does it do everything I want it to do? This one is really important and requires really thinking about what you want to do with it. So basically, is it really the right tool for the job? Do we have something that does this already? That's really important so you don't end up with a virtual cabinet full of software boxes. Um, and then once you work your way through all these questions and others that may come up as you're doing that, you'll have a better understanding of the value of the toy. May tarnish a bit in the question process. You may not find it as shiny as you thought, or you may find a real diamond in the process. Maybe it's a toy you started looking at. Maybe it's another toy that you discovered in your research. So that is really the crux of this, is to do that research, and you might find something even better. So if there's something you're looking to improve, it's always imperative to delve into the issue before getting the tech to support it. Identify the issue you're trying to resolve or improve. Put pen to paper or finger to keyboard and articulate the improvement and how you will gain that improvement. Lay out exactly what you want to accomplish. What does it improve? And how much does it improve that? Does it save me 1 minute? Does it save me 10 minutes? Is this something I do once every 6 months and it saves me 5 minutes? Probably not that much worth it. But you really need to articulate that and put that somewhere and give it a value. So even if you're the one making the decision, can you sell it to yourself? So put together a presentation to yourself or to the person making the decision and sell it. If you can't, well, then maybe that answers your question. Listing everything out that it can do and being able to make a sales pitch to yourself or to someone else about why you should have that is very important. And if you can't sell yourself on it or sell the person that's doing it, maybe you need to really reevaluate that. So then look at the tech that can support it, ensuring that the tech accomplishes what you think it will. So lay out that plan to implement it. and then audit it to make sure it's working the way you want and is meeting what you were hoping to accomplish. If it is not, make adjustments to get you to the goal. Another important part of this is to audit your toys, your tech. You know, some families go through their toys before the holidays to make room for more and see what's needed and all of that. We really need to do that with tech as well before we just go buy more and throw it at it. So, what do you have now? Do you know for sure what you have? That is always very interesting. You know, we have how we end up with subscriptions to things like streaming services and don't even know what all we have. The same thing happens in tech. So I'll give you a real life example of that. A few months ago, I ordered deodorant for my husband and I. And I ordered four of them. Okay. I didn't realize it was a subscription. A month later, I get four more. Let me just say that the two of us do not go through that much deodorant in a month. But it's one of those things that you get out there and you don't realize what's going on, and here you go. Now you have four deodorants coming to the mailbox every month. So yeah, that happens in everything. So really to audit and see what all you have right now. And while we don't have a cabinet full of boxes of software, there's things that we're paying for every month. So many times I've had firms go, "Oh, we want to add this." And then I go, "Okay." And they said, "Well, we went to sign up for it, and here we've had it for 2 years. I'm paying for it for 2 years and hadn't been using it." So yeah, that's all very important. And then have you investigated your current tech to know what it's able to do for you? And things that may have been added since you got it. Tech is always changing, and a lot of new things get added to existing software, and you may not be aware of it. So research that before you go on to something new. After that, then research if you have leveraged its ability to the max. You know, have you done everything with that, with your current tech that you can do with it? Um, so audit your tech regularly for all of these things. Like, what should that audit look like? You know, when you're going out there and you're auditing your tech, what do you want that actual audit to look like? So it should be added to your annual audit of your firm, which you should be doing, by the way. Know what you have and make a list. And then put it out in front of everyone and see what's actually being used and if anything can be improved. One way to do this is make a list of all your tech in the office and have everyone let you know if they use it. You might be surprised that there's something out there that nobody's using. So allow anyone to list anything they would like to improve about it. If there's a lot of negative, then you start looking for another solution. Have them tell you what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and see if you can find another solution for that. And by the way, we do this a lot. Um, John comes up with a lot of shiny new toys and goes, "Hey, what about this?" And we'll go through and say, what do we have now? And what does this replace? And if what it's replacing does something else that this doesn't do, then we really need to evaluate that. So having that audit and going through that audit, really anytime you want to, change things in your firm, is important. So what are the takeaways from all of this? Don't click the buy now on every new toy you see. um, Also, don't discount every ad for the shiny new toys. Did they spark your interest? If so, there's a reason. Maybe there's a need that you will need to fill and didn't recognize it before seeing that ad. So just remember, this may not be the correct tool for the job, or the issue may not be something that will gain your firm in either efficiency or profit. Maybe it's the innovative marketing strategy that appealed to you. If you want to use that for your marketing, you might. Keep your mind open and you will be much more successful in all of this. So you may ask why we're covering this when you're investing in tech is our whole business, right? Seems kind of odd. It is simple. We want you to invest in tech and we want to help you with your tech, but we also want you to be successful. I don't want to help you set something up that may not be what you need to meet your needs or improve your firm. Many times we have researched tech and came to the conclusion that doesn't meet the need or it isn't the right fit in the long run for your particular firm. That actually happens a lot. We dive into what firms do. What do you use your existing tech for? Well, there is nothing new out there that does that for you. So for that part of your process, you really probably shouldn't change that. So all of those things come into play when we're doing that. And that's why we do it, because we're not salespeople. We don't want to sell you new tech. That's not our goal. Our goal is to make you successful. And it's also a good point to make that what works for one may not work well for another. We do want you to embrace technology and to use it to your advantage, but we also want to guide you to use it strategically to meet your firm's goals. So you can schedule discovery, discuss your tech options with us. There's a link in the chat of the Zoom. There is a QR code up here and in the description on YouTube as well. John, do you have additional thoughts?
I have just very minimal, but yeah. Um, a couple things that popped out when you were talking it. If it was on sale and you buy it, you didn't save money, you spent money on something you didn't need. It's
John is
true.
challenging girl math, just so you know.
I was just gonna say, it's just like when anybody goes into a store, if I go into Lowe's or if I go into Target and I see something on sale and I don't need it, I am not saving money. I am wasting money. Um, Mind you, some of you will get this if you're a Parks and Recs fan. You need to go treat yourself sometimes. I get that. And have a day to treat yourself. Um, but it's specifically with legal tech, unless it's something you need, you're throwing money down the drain. You're not saving it because they gave you 6 months at 20% off. Things like that. And Beth talked about watching advertisements. Absolutely watch them. I'll I click on more ads than I don't know, a wrestler punches people in the face. Um, and I read about it. What does it do? And most of the time I just discard it. I don't even tell Beth about it. But that's how we found Fixer. I found one in 1,000 ads that I've opened up in the, however long. Fixer AI, you guys have had, we've talked to you about that. So ads aren't bad, but do your research. Go on to ChatGPT, say, what are people saying? What are the pros? What are the cons? Let it get you started on your research, and then go start looking at reviews, look at what it does, and then look at what your current stuff does. Fixer is absolutely outside of our tech ecosystem, and there's nothing in our tech ecosystem that did this. So we were filling the gap, and we saw that. Um, and it's very actually timely that we're talking about this because I spoke with a software programmer in Silicon Valley the other day, and they're making something that the market is already flooded with because they wanted to ask me what I use certain things for, just to talk about. We connected on LinkedIn, and they're developing a new product, but the market is flooded with this current product. And so I was just explaining from a user standpoint how to be different and what people are looking for in one-stop shops, taking five softwares into one, making AI take the next step and not just stopping at the question, but having actionable things that it can actually do and process and trigger. So I was just explaining some things. And it was just a really cool conversation hearing about the different trending softwares that they're using in Silicon Valley. And I look at it, I'm like, okay, I would never use that, but apparently that's the hip, different softwares to use over there. And I get it. They always have to move along with new tech, try it, but some of it just seems unnecessary and frankly quite expensive for some of the things that this person was telling me about. So it really is. Even the developers are putting out these products just to oversaturate the market even more with things that do identical things. I could line up the note takers that come into Zoom, and I could tell you 50 of them that all do identical things, and they all have different pricing. Um, so, Beth, I'm going to let you wrap that up. My throat is starting to go, but I'll let you tie that up into a pretty bow. You know where we're going. So,
Yeah, so always you want to audit. You want to know what you have and you want to lay out what your goals are for that. And you want to talk through that. You want to do the research for that. Now, for most of your, and I'm going to use this word a little loosely, but legitimate tech in the legal world, um, they're not going out there and doing, a sale that you have 3 days to buy it. You know, they're not pushing you that hard for that for the most part. Um, so really going in and when you see something, taking your time to do that research and to ask those questions and everything else. And we were joking before we started this about why is this today? Because is there a reason for it? And yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests lately, I guess I'll put it, to look at some different tech for people and everything else. And I love that. I really do, because it gives us an opportunity to look into that with you. But it also means that you're asking us and others, have you had experience with this? And I'll be honest, sometimes somebody will come to me and they'll go, "Hey, I saw this and it looks really good and I'm going to use this for this." And I'm like, "Yeah, I spent a week learning that and it doesn't do what you think it's going to do." Like it's not going to meet your need. So, really being able to bounce that not just internally, but also to ask those questions outside. And you're welcome to ask those of us at any time and we'll research those for you. But yeah, that do your research. Know what you have, first of all. Can anything you currently have do that? And yeah, and don't be afraid of technology because sometimes people can go the other direction. They see something, they really, really like it, and then they research and oversaturate themselves on trying to find knowledge that doesn't help. So yeah, and absolutely feel free to ask us to look into tech as well because we found things that way.
and Beth, I do want to add with the audit, we've seen so many clients that just, as we're talking to them, oh, I didn't even know I had that. Oh, I guess I've been paying for this for a long time. Um, Taking that audit to the next step, go to your bank account, print out
Mhm.
a year's transaction, and find the duplicate, triplicate charges that are reoccurring. You're going to find a lot of softwares that way, and you're going to say, "What is this? What is this?" Make your list. Um, but off of that, that's a
Yeah.
big way to find them because you probably do have some sitting out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Make that part of your audit,
Yeah.
your yearly audit.
All right, you
Okay.
want to go into open coaching? I mean, into
Uh,
we're in open
Q&A?
coaching, open Q&A.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna hit stop.